envelopes from the Murdoch press, from the Murdoch journalists who put them in the payroll. It's all going on. I've never known so many policemen resign and say, I've done nothing wrong, my integrity is there. They are the ones who've taken their eye off the ball. They are the ones who have been focusing and making our lives a misery, while the real terrorists have been plotting and planning for years to wreak terror like this man has done in Norway. Hopefully they will get a sense of proportion, but a lot of it is up to us. We have to stand up and say enough. How many of you are on the internet? I would imagine that all of you have access to the internet. There's a great site called They Work For You. You just go onto Google, www.theyworkforyou. You slip in your postcode, and there, straight up, you have your MP, and you can click onto that, and you can write directly to your MP. It'll take 2 or 3 minutes. Ask them what they're doing about the extremists in the EDL and other right-wing groups. Say, as a concerned citizen, you want to know. What are they doing? Start putting the pressure on. When you see something written about Islam which is wrong, write to the newspaper and correct it. It's no use us sitting complaining amongst ourselves that look what the papers have done, look what's happened. It may seem at times that you're like the little boy having his finger in the dike and just hoping that the whole dam isn't going to come crashing down. But we have to keep on going, we have to keep on correcting, we have to keep on, so that when people see a Muslim, as Brother Idris says, they'll smile, they'll be impressed. They might even pick up a copy of the Quran and start reading and, like me, realize that Islam is the answer to our problems. Finally, I was talking about perspectives before. If someone mentions terrorism in Europe, and you said to them, who are the terrorists? Almost certainly they would probably say Muslims. They might not after the last few days of what's happened in Oslo. But I have a very interesting statistic from 2009. In Europe, there were 294 failed, foiled, or successfully executed terrorist attacks. 294 in Europe, in 6 European countries. Out of the 294, 1 was down to Muslims. 1. Now that will probably come as a shock to you. It came as a shock to me because we're used to seeing the word terrorist and Muslim in the same sentence. It's all about perceptions. And there are the cold, hard facts. 294 failed, foiled, or executed terrorist attacks. Only 1 out of 294 were down to Muslims. Many were single-issue groups, and Basque and ETA and other rightist organisations. So we need to start putting things into perspective. We need to stop the media automatically putting Muslim and Islam in the same line as terrorist attacks. And within hours of the death toll rising in Oslo and on the island. Of course, The Sun put out its first front page, and you can always rely on the Murdoch press coming back to the beginning. The headline was, "Al-Qaeda wreaks terror in Norway." We have to correct the media, we have to correct the misconceptions about our great faith, about ourselves. And I think Brother Idris summed it up perfectly when he said, start with a smile. Thank you very much. Salam alaikum.
Jazakallah shukran. Sister Yvonne Ridley, speaking so eloquently as always, expounding on media and Islam. You know, we have visitors or visiting groups coming in the exhibition on the ground floor. And often they pose a question. Why is there so much adverse propaganda against Islam in the media? And amazingly enough, sometimes even teachers pose this question. So I ask them in return. And I say, you know, you have to, in order to answer this question, you have to ask 3 more questions. Number 1, who controls the media? Number 2, what are the objectives or ulterior objectives? And number 3, why? So the motives of the media appear to be not guilty until proven Muslim. You know, Sister Yvonne Ridley, she spoke about the films and the media and the TV programs and so on. One has to be very careful, because even when children are watching cartoon films, their minds are being influenced subliminally. So one has to be very careful what one watches and what one allows for children to watch.